Hello, it's Julie from Blossom Tree Papercraft. Thank you for joining me. Today is the final day of Sale-A-Bration, so I thought today's card is going to be a bit sort of spring inspired, and I'm going to be using timeless textures along with the Sale-A-Bration's Botanicals for you. Love this set and it does give a lovely card effect. So I'm going to put these to one side, and for today's card you will need a card base that measures 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. And then you'll also need your top layer, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So to start with, I'm going to come in with some Sahara sand and taking the waffle effect from Timeless Textures, I'm going to ink that up, and then all I'm going to do is try and make a bit of a border, but I'm not going to be too neat. I'm sort of making it a bit grungy around the outside, so I'm just sort of tabbing it along, not worrying too much. I'm going to continue doing that all the way around. There we go. I can then pop this one away. I'm then going to come in with Perfect Plum. I'm going to bring in some scratch paper, and taking the large Just For You, I'm going to ink this up. Because it's a large stamp, I'm taking the actual pad to the stamp so I can see that I'm getting a good ink coverage. I'm then going to stamp off again, and then stamp this now down into the centre of our card. There we go, so that just gives that nice light fuse of colour. And then I can get rid of this one. Then I'm going to come in with Melon Mambo, and I'm coming in with my flower elements now. And to start with, I'm going to use the largest flower, and I'm going to go into the Melon Mambo, stamp off again, and then position that in the corner. Stamp off again, and then into the corner. I'm going to keep doing that around the card. And then I think I'm going to put some down the side edges as well. Okay, and then taking the next size flower, again I'm going to go into the Melon Mambo, stamp off once, and then stamp down by the flower just to give that definition of colour. It really is a pretty card once it's done, and it comes together so quickly, which is what I like, especially if I'm needing to get cards in a hurry. Right, there we go. Now I can close down the Melon Mambo, and then coming back in with the Pear Pizzazz and using the little leaf elements now. I'm going to start putting some leaf detail on. I'm just sort of positioning them down, not really worrying too much. There we go, and then swapping to the other one. And then coming back round the other way. There we go. Got a few splodge marks on there. What can I do to cover them up, I wonder? can I do? Now I can either put flowers on in 3D, or I could bring in an extra little flower. What should we do? See, you're now seeing me trying to think how I'm going to fix my mistakes here. It's probably me with loads of ink over my finger. That's my normal trick. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in with the Perfect Plum and the very smallest flower and add a few more little extra details, I think. Just around. Don't know if I like that now or not, but we'll continue on. And obviously you can make your card without these extra detail bits on there. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. So that is now all the stamping part done. And I'm going to come in with some of the linen thread. And I'm just going to wrap some of this around the bottom of the card. Go down 2, maybe 3 times. Cut that off. I'm going to try and tie a little bow. So I've got it all tightened up. There we go. Try and tie a little bow. Never very good at tying bows, but we'll see what happens. It's not too bad, not too bad. Let's bring that down towards the bottom more. I'm just going to cut off the excess that I've got there. I'm turning that over and putting some dimensionals on to the back, and bringing in our card base. Just going to mount that up on to the top. There we go. And then to finish off, a couple of things. I've got my So Saffron marker, and just in the centre of these little flowers I'm just going to put a little accent of the yellow, just so it's the centre of the flower, just to add an extra little bit of definition of colour. And then to add that little bit of sparkle, taking the Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to follow the outline of the writing just to give it an extra little bit of shimmer. There we go, and that's it done. So originally I started out and I thought this was going to be my card without any of the extra little flowers, but because I got inky fingers all over it, another mistake, we had to change it, and actually I quite like it. Yeah, I do quite like it actually. It's different. Anyway, you decide, you tell me, which one do you prefer? Thank you very much for joining me. Take care. Bye bye.